Welcome to Fire Safety in the Classroom, presented to you by the Oneida Herkimer Madison Bosse Safety Service. Why is fire safety so important? Unfortunately, history has taught us that tragic school fires can happen. In just these 4 school fires alone, 641 students and staff lost their lives. In order to prevent tragedies like these from happening again, fire protection professionals across the U.S. have taken the lessons learned and shaped the way we create safer classrooms today. For example, fire safety in schools includes conducting 8 fire drills over the course of the school year, as well as an understanding of fire codes as it relates to classroom and building storage, classroom decorations, egress from the building, rescue windows, avoiding electrical hazards, and door wedges. On Monday, December 1st, 1958, a fire broke out at Our Lady of the Angels School in Chicago, Illinois, shortly before classes were to be dismissed for the day. The fire originated in the basement near the foot of a stairway. A total of 92 pupils and 3 nuns ultimately died when smoke, heat, fire, and toxic gases cut off their normal means of egress through corridors and stairways. Many more were injured when they jumped from the second-floor windows, which, because the building had a raised basement, were nearly as high as a third floor would be on level ground. Each classroom door had a glass transom above it, which provided ventilation into the corridor, but also permitted flames and smoke to enter once heat broke the glass. The school had 1 fire escape. The building had no automatic fire alarm, no rate-of-rise heat detectors, no direct alarm connection to the fire department, no fire-resistant stairwells, and no heavy-duty fire doors from the stairwells to the second-floor corridor. This fire resulted in major changes in school safety and fire regulations in many areas, including means of egress and fire alarms.
Hal Bruno, who would later become a prominent political journalist with ABC News, was one of the first reporters on the scene because he arrived as a volunteer fireman with Rescue Squad 2.
We went in and went down to the basement, and it was like a textbook version of how a fire spreads. There were these barrels of trash next to the stairs, and there was a burn marks coming up in a perfect V going up the stairs. At the first floor level, there was a common door that prevented the fire from going into the first floor. And up at the top of the second floor, there was the killer, an open stairwell. So regardless of what caused the fire, if there had been a door at the top of those stairs, nobody would have died. All they would have had was a trash fire in a stairway.
Thankfully, we haven't had any school fires that have resulted in loss of life in many years. Regrettably, we still have many fires in school buildings each year, so we need to stay vigilant. As an employee, what is your role to keep your school building safe in the event of a fire? First, it is important to know what the common violations are so you can avoid them. Classroom decorations are considered a must by teachers and students who love to show off their hard work. Unfortunately, there are limits to how many decorations we are allowed to use at one time. No more than 50% of a wall in a classroom can be covered with decorations, papers, and posters. But don't forget to post the evacuation plan for students. This should be placed at eye level. Classroom doors should not be covered with combustible materials. This creates a hazard by adding fuel in the event of a fire. Please be sure to keep doors clear from any posters, decorations, or papers. All doors must not have anything on them, and furnishings should never obstruct the exit. Ensure your evacuation map is posted by the door at eye level. Be sure to review the plan with students. Teachers must review the evacuation plan with students annually by October 15th. Think in advance of a secondary escape route if your main escape route is blocked or compromised. Speak to your facility manager or supervisor if you need to bring items into the building. Items must be treated to ensure they meet fire rating requirements. Not only is fire safety a concern, but by reducing fabric-covered materials, You are eliminating hiding spots for bed bugs and other critters. Rescue windows are the second means of egress out of your room in emergency situations. They must be clearly labeled on the window and around the window and kept free of decoration. This will help rescue personnel look into windows if necessary in an emergency. In addition, interior furnishings should not be blocking the window or interfering with its operation. Maintain 28 inches of clearance in front of a rescue window. Exits cannot be blocked or obstructed by anything. These photos are examples of exits being blocked or obstructed. In addition to not blocking exits, it is important to not place combustible items in the egress path. Before you place an item in an exit or exit way, think of what it would be like to try to escape from a burning, smoke-filled building with 50 very panicked individuals, mostly children, and your primary exit is severely hindered or blocked. Doors should not be propped open. Doors should be kept closed and locked at all times to ensure building safety and security. Hallways are an important part of your evacuation route and your first means of egress. They should always be maintained and free of obstructions. They should not have any furniture or storage items that will pose a risk in the event of emergency that could create issues with evacuating the building if needed. Student artwork is allowed, but is limited to 20% of the corridor, and nothing shall be hung from the ceilings. Here are more examples of obstructed hallways and egress pathways. A single power strip is allowed as long as it is UL approved and plugged directly into the outlet and not plugged into another power strip, which is known as daisy chaining. Extension cords are to be used only for temporary use, less than 24 hours or unplugged after each use. They must be plugged directly into the outlet and UL approved. Home appliances should be left at home, including toaster ovens, candle warmers, air fresheners, as well as any other items strictly prohibited by your district's policies. Any appliances, for example, refrigerator, microwave, coffee pot, with a high amperage draw should be plugged directly into a wall outlet. Never use a power strip to plug in these appliances. Storage must be orderly and of use and value. If there are items that are no longer needed, please be sure to dispose of them or have them removed. Thank you for keeping our schools safe. Please contact your supervisor if you have any questions. Thank you.